Hey marshmallows, welcome back to another celebrity reading. Today we're going to be doing Katseye. Somebody recommended it and I was like, hold on, wait a minute. Oh shit. I never did a reading on Katseye and I was like, I definitely should because I feel like if I did a reading on them, I would get some tea. Now, obviously, this reading is going to be more intuitive slash psychic based, meaning I won't be heavily relying on these cards. I will be pulling out these cards from time to time, but I'm not going to be heavily relying on them to get information. This is going to be coming straight from the dome. Also, yes, you guys, I'm bringing back personal readings. Okay, link down in the description below. Except this time, I will only be doing it to a certain extent. So I will be giving a limited amount of readings per week. So I think I'm only going to be doing like 3 or 4 readings per week. All right. So make sure you're clicking the link so you can get, a limited amount of readings per week. All right. So yeah, get it fast. Okay. Cause bitch, after like, I think I'm gonna do 4 readings this week or 3. After those 3 are done, I'm not accepting no more until the next week. All right. Just so that I don't overwork myself because I realized that's the mistake I made last time. I took on a little bit too much than I can handle. But yeah. Like the video, subscribe, comment down below more celebrities y'all want me to read on. And yeah, I was like, you know what? I haven't done K-pop in a while and I want to do K-pop artists like every now and again. And I know Cat's Eye technically isn't K-pop, but their company is K-pop, so technically they fit into the K-pop category. All right, like let's just be real here. They're trying to be a global group, but they're heavily focused in the K-pop realm. So it is what it is. Anyways, let's get on to Cat's Eye, the psychic intuitive reading. Let's start. So, first thing Spirit is telling me as it relates to Cat's Eye is hidden animosity. Okay, there is hidden animosity between the members. If you guys don't know, Cat's Eye is a new group. I think they debuted like last year under HYB, whatever, the same company as BTS, and New Jeans and all of them, right? And there's definitely hidden animosity between a lot of the members in the group, right? Like it's not just 1 or 2 members that don't like each other. It's like a good amount. Like I would say, how many people are in Cat's Eye, right? If there's 8 people in Cat's Eye, then 6 of them have hidden animosity towards each other. Like it's a mutual thing, right? And I also heard competitiveness. Competitiveness is the reason why they have hidden animosity towards each other. Now, whoever recommended that me to Cat's Eye, shout out to you. I mean, whoever recommended me to read Cat's Eye intuitively, they said that they had a question like, is Cat's Eye going to be like of the next Fifth Harmony? And I wouldn't say publicity or musically wise, I don't think they're going to be the next Fifth Harmony in that sort of aspect, but they're going to be the next Fifth Harmony in the sense of the members having hidden animosity towards each other and their personality differences getting the best of the group, right? Honestly, I feel like towards the end, once the initial hype wears off, because let's be real here, the group just debuted. So I'm picking up that majority of the members, they're just excited. Like they're just happy to be here, right? Like they're just happy to be famous. They're happy to finally be getting recognition. Like we finally made it, right? That's the energy of the group overall is we made it. We've overcome the struggles, the difficulties. If you guys don't know, they basically were on some sort of survival show and they had to compete in order to get into the group. And so I'm just feeling like that's just the overall energy that they're sharing right now, right? Like it's like, whoof, like we made it, we did it. Once that initial hype wears off and they start becoming used and accustomed to the fame and the paparazzi and the fans, once they start getting used to this shit, you're going to start to see the differences in the group arise. And I even feel like there's going to be something's going to be exposed. And I don't know if it's going to be exposed as in somebody's going to come out and say it verbatim, but we're going to start to see the differences in the group. I don't feel like they're going to be able to work past their differences because the problem with this group is that they all want to be Beyonce's, right? It's like what happened with Fifth Harmony, right? In the beginning, everybody was just happy to be famous. They were just happy that they made it. They were happy that they were able to overcome everything. And then as the years went on, the differences arised. And the reason why the differences arise with Fifth Harmony is because they weren't harmonious at all. Everybody wanted to be the Beyonce of the group. And if you guys don't know Destiny's Child, then you're not going to get this reference, but you can't have a group full of Beyoncés. Somebody has to be the Kelly and somebody has to be the Michelle, right? Somebody has to be comfortable taking the back road. I feel like Yoonchae, she's comfortable out of all the members. Here's what I'm going to say to Yoonchae. I'm gonna give them a reading individually. But Yoonchae, I will say she's the one that's most comfortable just sitting in the background. Like she doesn't have to be the Beyonce. She doesn't have to be the face, right? But Lara, who else? Lara, Sophia. Those two are highly competitive. And I just want to say this, I didn't watch the documentary or the survival show. I didn't watch the group before they were a group on Netflix. So this is all just coming straight from the dome. All right, keep that in mind. But I feel like Lara, Sophia, and who else? Who is the girl with, okay, Megan, Laura, Sophia, and Megan, and Daniela. Those four are highly competitive, and I honestly see them competing with each other secretly, right? So there is secret competition in this group. They may not say it out loud, and I feel like the reason why we may not see it a lot is because they are media trained, all right? I'm getting that intuitively as well, that their company, Hybe company, they do not play when it comes to publicity, when it comes to, I'm intuitively picking up that they had to sign some NDAs, okay? They had to sign some NDAs, especially with what's going on with New Jeans. If you guys don't know, there's another K-pop group called New Jeans, and they had to go to court, and the whole entire situation was aired out publicly. It was a very messy situation. And so I feel like Hybe at this point is on high alert, and they're trying to make sure that all their celebrities, all their artists keeps their mouth shut, right? So I feel like um Hybe is being very cautious when it comes to, keeping their artist's mouth shut, right? Making sure they don't spill certain information or leak certain information involving the company. All right, so they are media trained, and I don't feel like we're going to see certain things verbatim, but we're going to start to see the group's dysfunctionality. Okay, because the truth is, I don't feel like they're bonded as a group. And it's only natural, of course. You're not always going to get along with each other. That's natural. But I feel like they're not able to get past that, right? It's one thing to not like somebody, but you should at the very least be able to operate in the same space as them. And I feel like it's going to come to a point where we're going to start to see the group crumble. Not necessarily when it comes to numbers and shit like that, but I think when it comes to how they're able to operate around each other. Okay. I feel intuitively that one of the members feels as though they are underrated. All right. Somebody feels as though they're not receiving the praise they deserve, right? And I'm picking up that it's Lara. Okay, Lara is the, I think she's Indian. I don't want to be disrespectful, but I think she's Indian, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. She is the one with the red hair. She is the one I feel as though she thinks she's underrated. Okay. She feels as though she's the best of the group, but she's not receiving the praise that she deserves. That's what I intuitively pick up. I feel like she also secretly compares herself with other members of the group, right? So, say for example, they're all walking down the street and their fans are there, and the fans are calling their names, right? The fans are like, "Oh my gosh, Manan! Oh my gosh, Sophia! Oh my gosh, Yoonchae!" Right? But they're not really calling Laura's name. I'm hearing that that's going to get to her, or that's already getting to her, right? And she takes note of that, and she's comparing herself. I do feel like she's lyrically gifted and she does want to be an artist for real. But also, I feel like the comparisons is going to get to her, right? She's super competitive, which, as an artist, you need to be competitive, but to what extent, right? Moving on, I feel like there's some members who just want to be famous. I think Manon, like, yeah, she likes music, but I think she just also likes being a socialite. She kind of reminds me of Jenny Kim from Blackpink. Like, she just likes the socialite aspect of being, in the group. She just likes being famous, okay? So there's that. Her and Megan, I think they both just like being famous. Sophia is the one, I feel like she definitely loves music. She takes it very seriously. Like, I hope she gets the leader position if they do have positions, because she would best fit that role. She's well rounded and she takes her craft very seriously, right? Here's something else I'm going to say. Oh my God, why did the video just pause? If you guys didn't see the documentary with Katseye, basically a lot of the members or even people that didn't debut, they were throwing a lot of shade and they basically hated Cats. They hated Manan. Manan is the mixed one, the biracial one. They hated her because basically she wasn't putting in a lot of effort as they were, right? While training, Manon used to come to training and dancing class. She used to come late. She didn't really put in a lot of effort, right? And the reason is basically while they were scouting, they reached out to Manon, right? And Manon at first, she wasn't 100% sure she wanted to become an artist. So throughout the entire process of them forming the group, Manon was basically on the fence the entire time. Long story short, Manon could afford to not really put a lot of effort because honestly, I think it's because of pretty privilege. I'm going to be honest. I think it's really just because of her looks. That is why Hybe or the casting directors, that is why they sought her out. They sought her out because of her looks, not because she could sing, not because of her stage presence, not because she could dance, because she's a pretty girl, right? And there's no denying that. I honestly, personally feel like it's not her fault. Like honestly, if I were Manon and if I could not really put a lot of effort but still get in the group, I would do that as well, right? So long story short, I'm bringing this up because there are still members that are holding grudges against Manon. Lara, I think, is one of them. Sophia, I think, is one of them. Megan, I think, is one of them. Um, I don't really think Yuche is holding a grudge. Honestly, here's my opinion. I think Yunche doesn't really care. I think out of all the members, Yunche has a really good head on her shoulders, right? Out of all the members, she's the most realistic one. She is the most well-grounded one. I feel like she doesn't get carried away with the fame and the competitiveness. She's more so like, look, as long as I'm getting paid, as long as I'm getting my check, as long as I'm, you know what I mean, getting my lines, I do my little dance. I don't really care about nothing else, right? Yunche seems to be the most level-headed one. The funny thing is, she's actually the youngest, which is shocking, right? But yeah, somebody I think who's the most childish, I think Megan is the most childish. I'm gonna be honest. Megan and Lara is the most childish. I think Lara's just super competitive. Okay, she's super competitive and she's a try hard, no shade. Anyways, moving on, like I said, there are members that are still holding grudges against Manon. I even still feel like to this day, Manon still gets preferable treatment in the company. And I think that gets to the members. Like they see how the company treats Manon versus how they treat the rest of them, and it gets to them. Again, I feel like Yunche doesn't really give a fuck. It's like, girl, as long as I'm getting my check, I don't give a fuck about none of this shit. Like, girl, I could really give a less of a fuck, right? Yunche doesn't really care too much. Honestly, I don't even feel like she feels connected to the group. I feel like Yunche's just here for she's here for the check. All right, and I don't blame her for that. But yeah, I think Laura still holds a grudge against Manon as well as Megan and Sophia because again, it's just more so like I see they're doing a dance, right? I see them in a dance room and I see Manon kind of slacking off. Like she's not putting a lot of effort into the dance and I see Sophia looking at her and being like, "Girl, like pick up the pace, right? Pick up the pace." Secretly, I feel like Sophia and Laura feel as though Manon is not on their level. Like, bitch, you didn't work as hard as we did, right? Because before this entire survival show, before forming the group, these people, Sophia, Laura, and Megan as well, Daniela, they were in the entertainment industry for years, right? Manon was just more so some social media, like she was a social media chick, no shade, right? And so I feel like in a way they feel as though they're better than Manon, right? And this is still currently to this day, not just when they were filming the show. Still to this day, I feel like they feel as though they're kind of better than her and they deserve better than her because they've been training for this their whole lives, right? And they're salty that, hey, we've been training for this for years and this girl who's just pretty, she gets to just show up and take our spot. Yeah, all right, that's what it is. Okay, this group is filled with Beyonce's, and nobody besides Yoonche is willing to be the Kelly. All right, moving on. Again, I feel like there's going to be some sort of expose. I also heard their management team, they have good management in terms of publicity. Like, I see them doing good publicity wise, but behind the scenes, the company is a little bit sloppy. All right. And I feel like a part of that may be exposed. As much as Hive is trying to keep their artist mouth shut, I feel like something's going to be exposed in the future with this group. All right. Um, but yeah, moving on. I definitely think that the company has favoritism within the group, and I feel like it shows. Favoritism is going to continue to show, and I feel like fans may even start to notice this and point it out. Y'all, let me know if y'all are enjoying this reading. I never thought to read on Cat's Eye before. So, anyways, let's do a quick reading on. Let's start with who should we start with? Let's start with Manan. How does Manan feel about being in the group? How does she feel about her members? What is the vibe? OMG, y'all. As I was shuffling and I'm channeling Manon's energy, I just heard she thinks some of the songs and the dances are corny. Okay, like Manon, she doesn't really give too much of a fuck. She's just here for the fame, all right? Ooh, the salty card came out. Bitter, angry, and petty. So again, there is some beef behind the scenes. I don't know if we'll ever see it per se. Again, I feel like the longer the group runs for, the more it's going to be harder for them to keep up with the facade. Okay. These girls, they're very young. Okay. These girls as a whole, very young, kind of immature. And so there is going to be a lot of pettiness. Okay. Like I said, I definitely think there is some beef, inner beef going on with the group. All right. How does Manon feel? The exhausted card came out as well. I feel like Manon, does she have some health issues? Like she gets more easily exhausted. Okay. She has less stamina than the other members, right? I feel like Sophia has the best stamina. Like she can dance and sing for 12 hours plus, right? Manon gets tired after doing two songs. And I think that's going to be a problem in the group. Like I said, Manon and Sophia are going to run in some issues. Lara, too, other members are going to come in as well because Manon, I feel like she's not able to keep up with the group stamina because, again, she wasn't born and raised an artist, right? She just kind of hopped in the scene because she's a pretty girl. How does Manon feel about the group Cat's Eye? How does Manon feel about the group's Cat's Eye? How does she feel? Established. So again, like I said, she's happy to be here. The money is good, the fame is good, secure, wealthy, and settled. Okay, so she definitely enjoys the fruits and the labors of being in the group, right? How does Manon feel about the group Cat's Eye? How does she feel? How does she feel about her members, the company as a whole? What is Manon's feelings towards Cat's Eye? Missing you, longing, let's talk, reunion. I don't really know what that's about. All right. Is she spending some time away from somebody? Does she miss home? I feel like she tends to get homesick sometimes. Like maybe she misses her old life sometimes. I feel like besides the cameras and the lights, like Manon is really a chill, down to earth person. I don't necessarily know if I don't know. She enjoys being a celebrity, but uh, the commitment is what scares her. Moving on. I don't know if she's able to commit and dedicate her whole entire being to being an artist. Manon, how does she feel about Cat's Eye as a whole? Ooh, distance, divorce, ghosted, and separation. So there's something to do with distance and her leaving something. Did she recently go through a breakup? Did she leave a friend at home? I feel like there's something going on with her personal life that is causing a little bit of depression and stress. All right. Manon, what is going on with her personal life? Y'all let me know if y'all know anything about that. What are these cards about? Can I get some clarity for the distance and longing card? What is she longing? And who is she distancing from? What is she distancing from? Love affair. All right. So boom. Okay. So there is somebody she's dating behind the scenes. Oh yeah, that's something else I forgot to mention. There's going to be a lot of mess with this group. All right. They're not going to be able to keep it all together. They're trying to be professional. The media training is not enough. Okay. The love affair card came out, dirty little secret, sex flick, and down low. But why do I feel like this isn't a guy? Why do I feel like Manon could date girls? Anyways, so yeah, I'm pretty sure she recently probably broke up with somebody. I also heard that as well. Some of the members are gonna want to date, but because of their status and because of how demanding being in a group is, they're not gonna be able to date. All right. Anyways, so yeah, there is somebody she probably recently distanced herself from or broke up with, and I don't feel like she wanted to. This kind of feels like she had to because of the group. I just feel like Manon, I'm intuitively hearing that she doesn't like how much being in the group is taking away from her personal life. I feel like Manon is that person where she enjoys having her own little life and she doesn't like how taxing it is being in the group, right? Drowning, over your head, overextended, and rock bottom. She's going through some personal issues and some mental issues, all right? Send her love and light. But I feel like she's not going to be able to keep up with the group. I feel like somebody's going to end up leaving the group. This is going to be a Fifth Harmony situation, actually. Whoever said that, you're right. She might end up leaving the group. Somebody's going to end up leaving the group. Last card. How does she feel about the group? How does Manan feel about Katseye as a whole, the company, and the members in the group? How does she feel? Okay, that doesn't really matter. Okay, how does she feel? How does she feel? Okay, Spirit just said she's well protected. How does Manon feel? She's protected from evil eye. How does Manon feel about being in the group? I feel like she's going to end up leaving the group. Somebody's going to end up dropping out of the group. Somebody's going to end up dropping out of the group. How does she feel? Running, escape, denial, and excuses. I think she's honestly thinking about leaving the group. I think sometimes, even still to this day, because remember, in the very beginning, she wasn't even sure about if she wanted to join the group or not. I still feel like to this day, she's not even fully decided on whether or not she wants to be in the group, right? The running card. She may end up leaving the group. Out of all the members, I think she's most likely to leave the group simply because of the difficulty it imposes on her personal life. I think she's better off just being an influencer. And then we have suffering and silence, broken desires, real feelings, and broken dreams. Maybe this isn't what she expected it to be. I think she kind of convinced herself she wanted to be in the group because, again, she was thinking about the fame and the money. But once she realized just how taxing this shit is, like I see her backing out and just being like this is too much for me, right? Paranoid, cautious, guarded, insecure. All right, so overall, Manon, she enjoys the fruits of being in the group, but I don't think she can handle just how um dedicated you have to be in a group like this. Next, let's do Lara. Okay. Okay, so I'm shuffling for Lara and I heard underrated. She feels underrated. She feels underappreciated. How does Lara feel? She wants to be the Beyonce of the group. I feel she wants to go solo. Let me just say that. Lara wants to go solo. I don't even think she wants to be in the group. She wants to be in the group because she loves being an artist and I think she loves again the fame, the popularity. But if it was up to her, if the company offered her to be a solo artist, she would take it without a second, without a doubt, she would take that opportunity. All right. So how does Lara feel about Katseye? How does she feel about the group? How does she feel about the company? How does Lara feel? What are her feelings toward the group? The salty card came out again. So I don't know what is happening behind the scenes, but something is making these members salty. I don't know if it's the company or I don't know if they're salty towards each other, but there's something that they're not favoring. There's something that they don't like that went down. Anyways, how does Laura feel about the group? How does Laura feel about Cat's Eye? The fact that it's hard to pull on her energy lets me know that she has a lot of hidden feelings. She's kind of fake, right? And not necessarily fake in a evil way, but she's fake as in she's not going to share how she feels to others. She conceals her feelings a lot. All right, moving on. How does Laura feel about the group? How does she feel about Cat's Eye? Toxic drama, arguments, incompatibility. I knew it. Again, there's somebody in the group that Laura does not fuck with for real. And I'm picking up that it's Manon. It could be somebody else too, but I just don't know who else it would be. How does Laura feel about the group? All right, she notices the incompatibility. She sees that she doesn't get along with some of the members. All right, not all that glitters is gold. How does she feel about the group? How does Laura feel about the group? How does Laura feel about the group Cat's Eye? How does she feel about her members in the company, the group overall? Oh my gosh. She has a lot of mixed feelings. The fact that it's hard to pull on her energy, she's concealing a lot. Epiphany, self-reflection, and untapped talents. Again, I feel like she may end up leaving the group as well. The group may end up disbanding. I'm not going to lie to you guys. And I feel like they may end up disbanding. Specifically, Laura, she may end up leaving the group when she realizes, like, I'm better than this, right? She wants to. Honestly, I would recommend that she leaves the group. If Laura was my client, I'd be like, girl, leave the group. You're going against your true desires. You want to be a solo artist. You don't want to be in this group. You want to outshine the members. If every time you try to perform, I feel like when she performs against the members instead of performing with the members. I feel like she tries to outshine them, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but that means that you're not meant to be in the group. Like You're not a team player, baby. You want to be the captain. You want to be the captain. All right. How does Laura feel about the group as a whole? This is gonna be like the last card I pull on her energy, because she's just, it's too difficult. Antisocial, in your feelings, silent treatment, left out. I'm not gonna lie to you. Laura's emotions are very flip floppy. I feel like she doesn't like being in the group secretly. Like she doesn't like that she has to share the spotlight. All right. Silent treatment, in your feelings, left out. I feel like they do have arguments behind the scenes, and I feel like Laura's involved in a lot of these arguments. Like Laura's kind of a brat. I'm not gonna lie to you. She's a little bit of a brat. All right. Again, she may have recently had some sort of back and forth with another member. All right, on the top we have laughter, happiness, joy, and healing. And at the bottom we have recharge, breathe, let go, and clear your mind. So, Spirit, this is a message from Spirit telling her to relax, calm down, breathe, let go. Okay, I understand you want to be an artist, you want the fame, you want the glitz, the glam, but calm down, let it come to you. Right? Don't overthink, don't overwork yourself. All right, the laughter card. In the end, I think she enjoys the fame, the popularity, she enjoys the recognition, but there is a bit of friction she's experiencing in the group with another member. Okay, so the group dynamics are kind of off. Next, who should we do? Let's keep it pushing. I don't want this video to be too damn long. Sophia. How does Sophia feel about Cat's Eye? Right. So, Sophia has conflicted feelings as well. The first card that came out was mask, deception, hiding, and concealing. So I definitely feel again, she has some feelings as well. Like, okay, she may act like, oh my gosh, I love this group and I love the company, I love this opportunity. Deep down, there are some feelings that she's hiding. Again, this is due to professionalism. I'm pretty sure they've received some training, media training behind the scenes. But yeah, she may also feel like somebody's kind of fake. I also feel like she doesn't really like Lara. Okay, let me just bring that up. There's some friction between her and Lara as well. I think she thinks Lara's a little bit fake. I think she's seen how Lara acts and she's like, oh, sis, like you a little bit weird. Like, you's a little fake. Okay, the suffering and silence card, unspoken desires, real feelings, and broken dreams. So, again, there's something she's not mentioning. I feel like there's a certain need of hers that's not being met. There's something that she wants that she's not being given right now. Psychopath card came out, abusive, conniving, and unpredictable. I think she thinks this about the company as a whole. Like she's put in a lot of effort and work into the company, and I think she definitely likes what she's being given, but I also feel like I just heard underpaid. So it's different from Lara though. Lara feels like she's being undervalued, not only by the company, but mainly by the fans and the media. For Sophia, it's more so like the company. Like I think she sees the dark side of Hybe, and I think that's what's kind of turning her off. I think if she were to leave the group, that would be why. It'd be because of the company and some mistreatment from the company. But we have the glow up card is here. New opportunities, new career, and successful business. I think she's more so focused on the business aspect and the career aspect. Like she's not like Lara who's getting sidetracked by the socialite aspect of it all. I think she's more so like, yeah, like she's not like Manan, like that's too focused on the socialite aspect. She's more so like she's about her business. I'm not gonna lie. Like out of all the members, I think she'd be a successful artist because she's able to manage herself really well. All right. Any other cards? How does Sophia feel about the group? How does she feel about the company? I honestly, her energy reminds me of Yunche. It's just more so, girl, I don't give a fuck about none of this shit. As long as I'm getting my coin, as long as I get to dance and sing, I don't really care too much. All right. How does Sophia feel about the group, the company, her members? How does she feel overall about Cat's Eye? How does Sophia feel about Cat's Eye? There's not really too much to pull from her energy. Hopeless, loss, depression, and suicide. She may deal with mental health issues from time to time. Again, this is another warning like Spirit gave Lara. Do not overexert yourself. Okay, take some time, breathe, make sure you're taking care of yourself mentally before you try to give. Like I feel like Sophia's a hard worker. Like there's no doubting that. But you don't want to give so much of yourself to the point where you start pouring from an empty cup. Because then I see like she's kind of gonna, she has an attitude problem. But I feel like this attitude stems from this moodiness, stems from overexerting herself, right? Putting too much, giving too much of your energy away to something that's not going to benefit you in the long run. All right. So she needs to make sure she takes care of herself first and foremost before doing this group thing. All right. How does Sophia feel about the group as a whole? How does she feel about her members? Toxic drama, arguments, and incompatible. Again, same like Lara. I think she sees again the disconnect with her members. Like they're not cohesively a group. They're a group technically, but when it comes to energetically wise, they're not aligned with each other. All right. So there's that. And yeah, oop, I also see narcissist, egotistical, opportunist, and fragile. So there is somebody in the group that she kind of despises. I think she doesn't like the way somebody in the group carries themselves. Like it's one person she specifically doesn't really fuck with, and it's like she sees the dark side of them. Like she sees you're a narcissist, you only care for yourself. Again, this could be Manon, this could be Megan, this could be anybody else. I don't feel like anybody in the group has any beef with Yunche. I just feel like she's just there. She's neutral. She's having fun. She's just about the money. All right. And on the bottom, family, blood ties, and inner circle. I think she's very close with her family. I think her family plays a huge part in her life. And yeah, I don't know if she sees the members as family. I don't think so, but she is very close with her family. I think she would call her family back at home to talk shit about the members. Anyways, that is how Sophia feels about the group. Not too much, okay. Overall, happy to be there, but she sees the dark side of the company, and I think she's really good at reading people. She's very intuitive. All right, next. Whew, Megan. All right, how does Megan feel about Cat's Eye? How does she feel? There's definitely somebody in the group that doesn't like Megan. Okay, I don't know who it is. It's not Manon. It's somebody else. Anyways, I think it's probably Sophia. How does Megan feel about Cat's Eye? How does she feel about the group? How does she feel about the company? How does Megan feel about the group, the company? Spirit said she's a brat. She's a brat as well. She just likes being famous. She's like Manon. I think she definitely likes being a singer, but she definitely enjoys being famous. Okay, she loves it the most. She loves the cameras. She loves the lights, camera, action. How does Megan feel about Cat's Eye? Let's wrap this up. Time, delay, procrastination, too busy. Okay, so this means, I feel like this means when they officially became a group, I think she realizes she doesn't have a lot of times on her hands, right? Like she's very busy, they're always out and about. Again, you have to dedicate a lot of yourself when it comes to being into a group, all right? So, I think she acknowledges this, and yeah, this may be something that she doesn't really like too much, is being constantly busy. They're constantly on the move. Maybe this took some adjusting for her, right? Like it took some time for her to adjust to the lack of time she has to herself. All right. How does Megan feel about Cat's Eye? How does she feel about the group, the company? How does she feel about Cat's Eye, her members? How does Megan feel about Cat's Eye? Boundaries, disrespectful, enough is enough, and defend yourself. Whew, my God. This is like high school. Oh my gosh. These girls, I'm telling y'all, something's gonna come out in the future about them. Okay, so she may have to have set boundaries with somebody, um, either with, I feel like the group or the company, but I feel like it's mainly members she had to set boundaries with. All right, how does Megan feel about Cat's Eye? How does Megan feel about Cat's Eye? The company, the group, her members, how does she feel? I feel like there's a K-pop idol that she's trying to get with. I feel like Megan, she's before she joined the group, she was heavy into the K-pop scene, and I feel like there's a K-pop idol she has her eyes on. That was a random download. But anyways, how does Megan feel about Cat's Eye? Ooh, child. Ooh, the narcissist card came out. Is this for her? Is she a narcissist and egotistical, opportunist, and fragile? Okay, this could either be how she feels about somebody else, or this is how she is. Megan, how does she feel? Trapped, stuck, no options, and unforgiveness. What happened? What is going on behind the scenes? There is some shit going on behind the scenes. Salty, bitter, angry, and petty. This has been coming out for damn near every member. What happened? Did they get into a major argument? I feel like they do get into arguments and disagreements, but they try to keep it under wraps so it doesn't affect their group, so it doesn't affect their status. Okay, I feel like in the end, what brings them all together is the is wanting to be famous, okay? Is wanting to leave a legacy. And I think they understand, like, and they're not willing to ruin those chances, no matter if they get into arguments with anybody. All right, wishful thinking, deja vu, nostalgia, second chance, and karmics, third parties, haters, and lessons learned. I mean, I'm just getting the same for majority of the members. Let's do the last two. So, who is next? Daniela. I haven't been mentioning her much because I don't really care for her. How does Daniela feel about Cat's Eye? Okay, so I just got a random download. I feel like Daniela, this could be Daniela specifically, but I feel like it's all the members. They like to search their names up on social media. Like they're very Gen Z. And yeah, they like, I feel like some of them have secret accounts. And I don't know about Yunche again. Yunche really does not give a fuck. I love that energy for her. But I feel like they like to search their names up on secret accounts. I'm more so picking up Lara, Megan, and Manan, maybe Sophia. They like to search their names up on secret accounts, and I feel like they talk to fans through secret accounts. Moving on, I feel like they're going to get in trouble with their company when it comes to social media. Some of the members may get in trouble for like posting certain things without the company's permission. How does Daniela feel about Cat's Eye? So the toxic card came out again. All right, this makes me feel like the members had recently some sort of big blowout. How does she feel about Cat's Eye? One more card. All right. So I think she's just enjoying the fame. Daniela's more so just happy to be there as well. Like she's just enjoying the fame today in the moment. Now good vibes. I feel like she's not gonna let Daniela's the one where I feel like she's trying to not let the companies, I mean the she's trying to not let the group's dysfunctionality get to the best of her because it's like, you know what, we're famous. My name is finally being known. Like I'm in magazines, I'm having fun. Like she's just enjoying the moment. She's basking in the fame. All right. We also got hopeful, inspired, optimistic, and success. So again, I feel like her debuting in the group was a big thing for her, and I feel like she's just enjoying again the fruits of her labor, and she's hopeful for the future. All right. Toxic and the mask card came out. Okay, deception, hiding, drama, arguments, and incompatibility. Again, making me feel like the group has had maybe an argument or two behind the scenes, and she's acknowledging this, and she's acknowledging that, yeah, we're gonna be close with each other because at the end of the day, it's business, but we don't really fuck with each other like that. And then the glow up, new opportunities, new career, and successful business. Spirit told me she could be a clout chaser. Anyways, she's heavily focused on the fame though. That's one thing I will say. Of course, on the top, salty card came out, and at the bottom, paranoid, cautious, insecure, and guarded. All right. So honestly, again, they may portray themselves to be a certain way on camera, but deep down, there are a couple members that are guarded, meaning they're not super vulnerable with each other. If they ever come out and be like, "Oh my gosh, we're best friends," I don't believe that shit. I feel like one or two members are close with each other and they're like best friends, but besides that, I don't see they're all close with each other at all. Last one, Yunche, Jung Yunche. How does she feel about Cat's Eye? All right, give me a second. I just heard intuitively. I heard intuitively that Yunche gets overstimulated by the members. Like I just see her, like I see the members. They're all arguing with each other in a circle, and she's kind of just sitting on the side, and she's just like shaking her head, and she's just like, ugh. Like y'all are ghetto. I'm not gonna lie. I think she thinks the members are a little bit ghetto or they're a little bit too loud and rowdy. She's from Korea and they're a conservative culture, so makes sense. But yeah, I think she gets overstimulated and I think she enjoys her peace and solitude. Like I see her to herself a lot, all right? There is a disconnect though. Like I feel like as a whole, the members kind of have a certain energy with each other. Like for the most part, they vibe on a similar frequency. And I see she's disconnected from them, okay? So she may leave. If she were to ever leave, it'd probably be because of the members giving her a fucking headache. All right. The tension, stressed out, migraine card, worry came out. All right. So Spirit is telling her, girl, relax, okay? they need to watch for their mental health. At the end of the day, I get it. You want to leave a legacy, but take care of yourself first, all right? Smell the roses, slow down, take your time, and get out in nature. I think, again, she definitely enjoys the simple things and the mundane things in life. Yeah, she enjoys being famous, but she also enjoys being a regular person as well. Vacay, get away, relax, have fun. All right, so she could be on vacation. If not right now, she does want to go on one really soon. She enjoys doing things, having fun. Like, yeah, she's a simple girl. Love that for her. Hopeless, depression, the S word, and loss. All right. So she may also suffer with mental health issues from time to time. I definitely think she suffers with some sort of mood disorder. So just be careful with that. Okay. Could be depression, could be bipolar, could be ADHD. So whatever it is, she needs to regulate her mental state, boundaries. All right, again, so I feel like she's very firm on her boundaries. I'm not gonna lie, like she's very firm on, at the end of the day, this is business, this is the group, and my life is my life. All right, I feel like she creates a strong boundaries. Like I don't see her really hanging out with any of the members in her personal life. I just feel like she's like, yeah, this group is a group, and my life is my life. All right, this is work, this is business, and y'all are my coworkers. All right, mask, deception, concealing, and hiding. All right. I think she also peeps the fake shit again. It feels like multiple of the members see the way Lara and Megan acts and they see how kind of fake they are. All right. Those two I feel like are the fakest in the group. Anyways, blocked, moved on, nothing to say, and stop calling. Who did she block? Okay, who did she separate herself from? What's going on? Yunche is very firm on her boundaries. I love that for her. She's very firm on standing for what she believes in, okay? Out of all the people in the group, I feel like Fame changed her the least. I don't think Fame really changed her at all. And then we have healing, self care, introspection, and meditation. Again, she enjoys her peace and solitude. Then we have soulmate, twin flame, friendship, and romantic partners. So, sister, you dating somebody, Yunche? Who are you dating? Is it a K-pop idol? Let me know. Anyways, overall, that is the reading of Katseye. I did the members individually. Y'all better eat this up. Okay, num 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 num, eat it up. Eat this shit up. All right. Overall, something will be exposed within this group. It'll either be the company, how they manage the group that's going to be exposed, or the secret competition that will be exposed within this group. All right. Overall, I see some of the members leaving. I feel like they do have long-term success. It's a possibility, but I will cross my fingers, okay? I wouldn't bet on it, all right? Anyways, I hopefully y'all enjoyed this video. If you did, like, comment down below more people y'all want me to do. This is for my K-pop fans, and yeah, I'll see y'all later. Bye. Mwah.